Believe it or not, I've been making videos for the past 5 years. Although most of my super early videos have been deleted, mostly because they were poorly made, I appreciate all the support you've given me. You guys are the reason why I'm still making videos to this day. So I decided that I should let you guys in on some stuff that happens behind the scenes. However, I'm going to make this video extra special. How will I make this video more special, you ask?
By also doing a face reveal. Yes, this is actually what I look like. Sorry, I'll be talking about what goes into making your average video on this channel. I will not be talking about how I make YouTube poops in this video, because that has an entirely different thought process in comparison to everything else I make for this channel. Maybe someday I'll make a video going step by step on how I make those, but that's a different topic for another time. So what goes into making a video, you ask?
Now, when it comes to making videos, I generally just think of like whatever I want to do and have the most random ideas, like get inspired by the most random things. One of them that I can think of off the top of my head was this one video that had Peter Griffin and Brian Griffin doing like a bunch of random things, and it was like filled with Ed and Eddie sound effects. My inspiration for that was the Daily Dunkachino Twitter account, where all it was just the Dunkachino scene from Jack and Jill, but it was like several edits, like every day. It was great. I want to do something like that, but the Ed and Eddie video took way too long. Oh, that's my dog, by the way. And because of that, I just decided to scrap it all together. So there, like I said before, probably I'm not too sure. I don't know when I'm recording this. I mean, by that I mean like I don't know if I already said what I wanted to say. The point is, I pick random things to make videos on. Like if I want to do like I don't know, The Hobbit, there's that. If I want to do a video on the card game for some reason, I'll do that. Maybe I don't know why I have this, but I do. But generally, what I like to stick with the most is video game consoles. And the ones that I stick with the most are the Switch and the PS4. And the reason for that is because both of those consoles have a built-in capture feature. The PS4, you can just hold the share button for a little bit. You know, like hold that, and it can record the gameplay through this. I have used this console before, but the video that I ended up using that for ended up being scrapped altogether. I still have the footage, but I just didn't make the video. And the other one is the Switch, which I have actually made a few videos using my Switch directly. And how I do it is I would like record the capture feature, and then with the micro SD card in the back, I would take it out, put it on my phone, and then capture it that way. That might not be the most effective thing, but I don't own a capture card, so you gotta make do with what you gotta do. And there are other consoles, like I guess the Wii U, for example, that yes I do own, and if I want to capture it, I just use an emulator, to be honest with you. It's way easier than just buying a capture card. And I know some people might think like that's not really that good of an idea, but I have used emulators before in the past to record videos, and it ended up being alright.
Alright, let's play a game on the Switch to make things consistent with what I've been normally recording for a while. What game did I pick, you ask? I decided that I'm going to make a video about Super Mario Odyssey, which is a game that I physically own. So once I start recording the game, I'm pretty much going to be committed to making the video in question. Very rarely do I record footage for a game and then just scrap it. There are a few exceptions, and I have done it in the past, but 90% of the time I want to say I have made a video on the game that I was recording and I ended up using it. I know some people are curious about why I no longer record directly off of my TV, and I have one good reason why.
So I have a brand new TV, right? This is the absolute lowest I can make it in brightness. But the true real reason why I normally don't record on TV anymore is because you can see it's like a bit laggy on the actual display. And I want to have at least semi-functional footage and not just this garbage.
So as of right now, I finally finished recording the gameplay that I need for the video. So now I'm going to show you the process of how I write my scripts.
So what you see right next to me is an empty Google Doc. Now you might be wondering why I have a Google Doc. And that's because all of my videos that have scripts are made on Google Docs. That's what I've been using for the longest amount of time. And I do not have any plans of using like Microsoft Word or anything like that, because for me, Google Docs is fairly simple and I don't need to download anything. It's just right in the browser.
So I have a nice little title that I can work with. Just to let you know, this is not going to be an actual video. This is going to be like part of a video. So let's just say I want to start with So, see, I can't really, like, come up with everything, like, right on the spot. I need, like, some time to think. So that's not a good intro. Maybe I'll do something like Mario Odyssey and then build off from there. So this is my second progress check on the script. As you can see, I wrote a little bit more than what you've seen last time. Currently, as of right now, I have not read everything, like, out loud, but I should let you know that I do normally read my scripts out loud once I'm done. So I just want to tell you that this is a very common thing that I do by pure accident. I say, like, is twice when I really shouldn't be doing that. So what do? I change it to, like, theirs, or, if I say something too many times, I might use the thesaurus, but the point is, I just say the word is, like, constantly. Sometimes I do run-on sentences for too long. That's just some of the things I do with my scripts without realizing it until I read it out loud. So I just finished writing the script and made a bunch of corrections. Most of these corrections are just grammatical ones, but I made corrections nonetheless. The reason why is because I just want this to be easier for me to read. But now that I'm done with the script writing, next becomes me recording the audio for this. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So right now I'm going to start recording the script that I just finished. So here's how I normally read these scripts. I like try to split them off into paragraphs, like just small little chunks at a time. And all the sound recording that I need to do is done within Audacity. So sometimes Audacity is weird where I have to like wait a little bit for, something like that to appear. You see it might cut off right there, but that doesn't really matter. So then what I'll do is like I'll pause it like I don't know, right here, and then I'll listen to my own audio where I have to like wait a little bit. Yeah, something like that. And generally I tend to stutter like quite a bit of time, so I just stop the take, redo it, stop, redo, redo. All the audio editing that I need to do is normally done on Audacity. This is normally how I would split the parts that I want to read. I typically undo this once I'm done. For every little section that I want to read, I will split it off like that. So, oh, you gotta read this line. Alright, finish that. Alright, now that's done. Record that line. Now it should be obvious that I don't do this all in one day. This is a process that takes multiple days. Actually, the entire video takes multiple days, but you can probably tell that based on the different amount of shirts I was wearing throughout the video. To give you a bit of context of what my scripts look like, here's my Mario Golf Super Rush A New Donk City rant script, as well as my WarioWare Get It Together First Thought script. As you can see, they're structured completely different. One just is split into sections, while the other one is just start the video and end it. So a good example for me redoing takes is, if you look at this is all just one take of the same line over and over again. So I normally just pick the line that I like the best, so what do? This take I don't really like that much, so I remove that. This take I can remove. These takes were awful based on the length. I can tell which ones are good and which ones are bad based on the wavelength. However, I like to listen to all of them just in case. So here's an example of me needing to edit something out for audio. You see this big chunk of, nothingness here? Normally for Audacity, I have to pause a little bit before I speak anything, because then it just goes like it just starts part way through, which is something I don't want. So like right here, I'd cut that off. If you're wondering what that little beginning part is, that's just a bad take of something that I was doing earlier. So I gotta like remove this too. And that's just an example of me having to edit the audio out. So I just finished recording all the audio right now. And I got the script done, the gameplay has been recorded, I recorded the audio, so now I have to do the longest part of the whole process, and the part that I do the most, that being I have to start editing the video. So here's my editor. I use an editor called Shotcut, which is free. I've been using this ever since the beginning, and yeah, to be honest, I'm not really going to show you that much, but let's say I have like a bunch of files. They all have names for the most part. There's some that don't, which I do need to fix. I like to see that big jumble of letters. I can't really get away with that. However, to be honest, this is just going to be made like really quickly, like part of a video, so I don't really care. However, I do normally name all the stuff. So like, I don't know if you want to put like the introduction, like the audio. I have to like, adjust like that. Put some video. Normally I have some, background, like the actual video be labeled, but unfortunately this is going to be muted the whole time, so I can put like, I don't know,
background music. So if I want to put like an audio track right here, I can do that. If I want like a video track, which is just, if I want to put more visuals, I can do that. So if you want an example of what this kind of looks like, here's my Garfield Kart video right here. It's one of the most basic edited videos, but even then, you can say that like I have multiple layers. Actually, there's like an audio layer here, but I only use it like 1 or 2 times. It's like the most basic edited video, but if you want to know what my normal videos timelines look like, there you go. So one thing I have to do is listen to what I'm saying in the audio so that I know what I'm editing. So like right here,
The destroyed terrain.
like I'm talking about like something being destroyed, right? So I gotta go to my files and look for something that matches what I'm saying, because for the most part, I want it to be matching. Sometimes I don't do that. The opening I had doesn't have too much related to what I'm talking about. But for the most part, I want to try to match up the video to what I'm talking about. Let's say I need to get some footage for something like the Mario Odyssey E3 trailer. So what I would do is like I would copy the link, and then I would use this website, the Y2Mate. I used to use YT to MP3, but unfortunately, that site's been giving me so many issues and downloading in generally a low quality that I cannot use that site anymore. So what I would do is I would paste the link, wait for it to do its thing, and which this does take a little while. But thankfully, I can record this in 1080p, right? So, that's nice. So, I try to take it slow. I don't really believe all this other stuff because sometimes those pop-ups show up. But yeah, no, that's how I get footage from other sources that are not me directly recording. So here's an example of something I need to do for the most part. These are things in Shotcut called filters. So here's like one of them just to fade out and fade in, you know what I mean? So if I want to like have it fade out to black like this, just so I can have like a smoother transition, there's that. I generally use these things a lot, which is how a lot of the videos end up the way they are. It's not as basic as it looks. So I just finished editing the video, and you might think that I'm finally done now, but no, for the most part I'm not actually done. I tend to rewatch these videos once I am quote-unquote done editing. I notice a few mistakes, fix those errors, and then try to render in HD if I, for some reason, mess up the rendering. And if I can do that, I will. So yeah, sometimes I just rewatch it just to double check. I might give myself like a day of waiting. But it normally ends up pretty fine. So without further ado, here is the video. Mario Odyssey is one of the best games on the Switch. That's something that most people who have a Switch can agree with. The gameplay is fun, the game looks great, the music is great, but there's one thing that this game isn't so great at. What do I mean? I'm talking about some of the missed potential of the kingdoms in Odyssey. I'm mostly talking about stuff like the Cloud Kingdom or the Dark Side, which are just glorified boss arenas. However, the one I want to talk about today is the one that has the most missed potential. Which one is it? Well, if the title of the video doesn't make it obvious, I'm talking about the Ruined Kingdom.
Yep, I'm getting ahead of myself and talking about one of the most interesting things about this kingdom, and that is the environment. Man, does this place have a great atmosphere. Look at how dark this looks. This looks straight out of something from Dark Souls. I love it. The destroyed terrain, the messed up towers. Only one problem. I want to explore this damn place. This place is nothing but a glorified boss arena. This sucks. I want to go inside those destroyed towers. I want to see literally anything. Not just a small platform in this boss arena that has this dragon. I guess if you want to poke the dragon's eye with your cap, you can do that, I guess. Dragon eye poking aside, there's literally nothing else to do in this kingdom. There's literally nothing to do aside from this charging chuck room and this challenge with these blinking blocks. I just want to explore this place. I just want to explore this place like almost every other kingdom, but instead we just have a glorified boss arena. So at the end of the day, Ruined Kingdom sucks. There's nothing interesting to do in it. Ruined Kingdom is honestly one of my favorites when it comes to looks alone. It would probably be my favorite kingdom if it was an actual kingdom. The point is, I'm disappointed in this kingdom. And if Mario Odyssey 2 somehow happens and they reuse kingdoms, I just want Nintendo to make Ruined Kingdom more like an actual kingdom.